maybe another word I would use is resilience. I think a lot of people can look financially strong when things are good, but it's really about who is able to ride out the storms that are going to happen. Again, life is kind of cyclical. There's good times and good economic times, bad economic times. There's war, different things that can happen in any country. And so, you really don't see who's strong until, you see people face some level of adversity. So, um, and that kind of reminds me of another Warren Buffett quote, or is you really don't know who's swimming naked until the tide goes out. So that's I think that applies here with people can appear strong, they can, and I think that's the challenge, that's the trap that a lot of people fall into is if you ask who among your friend group or among the people you work with looks strong, it might be the people who have the nicest car, or maybe the people that have the nicest house, or go on vacation the most often. And sometimes, maybe oftentimes, those people may be the most financially weak because they're consuming everything that they're spending, or almost everything they're spending, and they're very dependent on their jobs, and having continued employment in order to afford all those things. So, for me, being strong is what I try to think about is how long can I survive without a job or other things and continue to live my lifestyle, not necessarily have to make changes. Even though I think if I ever found myself in that position, I might make changes. I own some properties. I could sell those in order to, um, you know, continue to live if I needed to. So that there's, and I think that's another maybe suggestion would be to have a contingency plan, of understand what you're going to do if plan A isn't working for you. What's plan B, plan C, plan D look like?
So describe to me, you mentioned, I like the word actually, a financial resilient person. What would that person look like? What they will have that the average person or the person that is not financially resistant doesn't have?
Um, I mean, I think that the common advice is to have probably 6 months of living expenses available, readily available to you. So I think that's probably at a minimum that's advisable. And then really from there, it's how much, whether if 6 months is the minimum that you want to have, it's really how long could you live without income? Could you live indefinitely without income? Could you survive for 2 years? So, um, but I think it also brings up another point around resilience is, I've started thinking more and more about, and I know that you've been thinking about this too, of, you know, personal health, safety, having skills that will work for you in any environment. These are things that I've started thinking about as being more resilient because I have a certain set of skills that are more financial in nature. Um, and so, I think a lot about, well, how would I survive in a different version of the world, right? Whether it's AI takes away certain opportunities that maybe I was planning on as part of my career, or things change, like maybe there's a war happens, or, there's so many different things that could happen. And so how do I have all the skills and habits developed in the rest of my life, not just financially, to kind of be resilient to just the different versions of the world